I think we can agree that life on Earth is hard. It is a tough experience with many obstacles thrown our way, even in the best of circumstances. In recent years, the truth is gradually being revealed about how this planet has and currently operates amongst the shadows. It's become more frighteningly real what traumatic and awful lives some Earth humans can endure. Yes, Earth can be a dangerous place for anyone, but even more so for our youth. The children are the true innocents in this realm and in other realms. Those who are willing to see are now discovering that the children may be the most targeted population, who has both the best interests and the power to help these kids when no one else will, or even maybe knows of their very existence. How can we even begin to fix this problem and heal those affected? Can the inhabitants of Earth alone solve it, or does some other worldly intervention need to be used? Let me introduce you to the Cymax, an alien race that endeavors to protect and nurture children throughout the universe. Hello, my name is Erin Lynn, and today we're going to talk about a group that I'm not as experienced with. At the time of this recording, I first met them about 21 months ago during a client Akashic record reading. At first, this group played coy. It wouldn't tell me their real name and just suggested I call them Ettas. However, they did allow me to access and read their planetary record and visit their world via astral travel. These beings were accommodating at the time, but really no other interaction occurred after that. So to my surprise, they came forward recently to request to be the second unknown ET race to be featured in this series. Let me explain how this all came about. It was a beautiful, clear, crisp morning on October 25th, 2024. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, and I was walking the dog backwards towards the house, and we were alone in the street. When suddenly, I was just kind of called to look up. And to my astonishment, a strange-looking UFO was flying silently and low in the sky above the property I was approaching. This type of ship was unknown to me and hovered nearby for several seconds before disappearing. Nonetheless, I got a good look at the details of it. It looked odd, like it wasn't complete. I saw 9 light in color silver metallic orbs in 3 rows of 3 orbs each in perfect square pattern. They were large and all the same size. These orbs looked brighter on the bottoms than in the rest of the upper parts of the orbs from my vantage point. These 9 orbs were flying in tandem as if they weren't separate structures, but connected somehow, and I just couldn't see how they were attached. The quality of the UFO material and how it shined in the sunlight, as well as how it was flying, left no question that it was of otherworldly origin. I then received an image in my mind's eye of several small humanoid beings like vigorously waving hello. As it turns out, this was a Cymac ship making a very rare visit to Earth. They wanted to say hello since they were, I guess, in the area. The Cymacs were on Earth on that day to assist energetically on an important mission. However, this group does not participate in the Galactic Federation of Light, or GFL for short. They infrequently come to Earth because it's really too dense for them here, and they view Earth as extremely dangerous. They tell me that they would not come here unless it was absolutely necessary. And when they do come here, they never leave the ship. Once I inquired, I was told that the Cymac ships do have those 9 orbs in that close together square pattern, 3 and 3. And there's also a large dome crafted in the same silver material that sits on top of that squared base of those orbs that I saw. It was risky for them to visit during the day and fly so low. Therefore, they partially cloaked themselves to make invisible the entire top part of their ship, in which the dome makes up most of the craft itself. That is why the UFO looks so strange and cut off to me. So, long story short, we are now discussing them in a video. The Cymacs are from the Canis Minor, also called the Lesser Dog Constellation, and they're from a planet that has a Bayer designation of Eta Canis Minor. That is why they had me refer to them initially as Ettas. This is a small planet that is usually overlooked in its already small constellation. It is the 7th brightest star that is located between the 2 brightest stars within Canis Minor, which are Procyon and Gobisa. Simac is what the beings who inhabit Canis Minor call themselves. These previously undiscovered ETs are a humanoid race, but they are smaller than us, standing about 4 to 5 feet tall. That's 122 to 152 centimeters. Even though the average lifespan for the Simacs is 300 to 350 years old, they still seem like children to me. And it's not just related to their small size. Even though they are a highly evolved alien race that has ascended from the 7th dimension to their current 12th dimension, they have childlike behaviors and emit a very innocent energy. For example, I had a blonde female Simac being grab my hand, pulls me over to this group. And this group are all excited that I'm there, and they're jumping up and down, like cheering me on. And then this group gets in a circle around me, holding their hands and doing kind of a ring around the rosy type action. On Earth, this is children's behavior. On Simac is everyone's behavior, regardless of their linear age. They are always smiling and happy, and they have endless energy and enthusiasm. They are not threatening in any way. These beings are childlike and innocent, even though they are not technically kids. There is also a spiritual wisdom that they possess, and that combination is unique. They are a very emotional race of beings, and despite their childlike demeanors, they have tremendous emotional understanding. That really comes with maturity of a well-adjusted adult. They do lead and make choices with their hearts and not so much with their rational minds. As a race of beings, the Simacs are extreme pacifists. They said, quote unquote, fighting is not the answer, love is the answer. Simac males and females look just like us, but smaller and more perfect childlike version of Earth humans. They are adorable. They all have fair complexions, many with freckles. They have light brown, blonde, or strawberry blonde hair. They have kind of a wide-eyed look that sparkles with joy and happiness. They have blue, green, or light yellowish eye colors. Females present with elaborately braided hair in a multitude of ways. Some showed like a crown-like design braided on top of their heads with little flowers in it. Some wore different braided hairstyles. It's a fun way for the females to express creativity, to braid each other's hair and come up with new designs. The males wear their hair short, and there's an equal number of males to females within their population. Interestingly, the female Simacs seem to be more involved in speaking with me, like they're generally more outgoing than their male counterparts. They tell me that this is the case because I too am female. If I was a male, then the guys would speak more. So there's no issue between the two genders there. They appreciate what each side brings to the table. It's just how their society is structured, where the female and the males spend more time separated. Females wear simple long sleeve dresses, a little more structured than a robe, that are silvery white. The light catches the silver threads in the material and it glows a bit. The material appears otherworldly and is beautiful. The dress falls to their mid-shins, and they are always barefoot. I don't ever see them wearing any rings or earrings or necklaces of any sort. Males wear long-sleeved, long-pant jumpsuits in the same material. They're also barefoot. A cool thing the Simacs can do is levitate. They all have levitation abilities without the use of wings or technology. These beings can rise from about 2 feet off the ground simply through the power of their will, and they can travel via levitation quite far. Approximately a football field's distance, too much further than that at one time, and they will get a little tired. They also show that their planet has some tall cliffs that they just jump off and levitate and glide in a controlled manner safely to the ground below. They tried to get me to do it too. I declined, even though I wasn't there physically. This is completely normal behavior and not only for the adventurous types. Simacs do communicate both verbally and telepathically with each other. They do speak out loud more often, but reserve telepathic communication when the noise may disturb others or it just needs to be quiet. Planet Simac is approximately half the size of Earth. The overall look of the planet is rural countryside with rolling green hills. They do have cliffs that I already mentioned that go down into valleys. Their sky is blue. There's only one bright white sun. The sky is clear and cloudless. Although they do get some rainfall and the temperature can drop from time to time, but it doesn't snow there. I see lots of sparkling streams throughout the landscape. Not too many trees. On planet Simac, there is some variation in climate from location to location, but I'm told it's not as extreme as the climate differences found on Earth. The planet doesn't really have anything we would consider a big city. They do have clusters of villages that are close together, creating slightly more densely populated areas, but mostly it's quite rural. Simac has never been a world with a very high population. They seem to like the space to frolic and live a simpler lifestyle that's more connected to nature. The valleys that are at the bottom of the cliffs are where most of them live. Although they wouldn't really show me in much detail their dwellings, the structures seem designed simply and are built for communal living. These beings typically live with their close and extended families. And there's a strong emotional attachment to all family members, even if they're only part of the extended family. Simacs mate for a lifetime and have families to create the next generation. Everyone gladly works together for this common good of the planet. The Simacs, like most ET races that are more evolved than we are on Earth, do not use money and don't seem very interested in anything material or any material things. Their currency is energy and love. Simacs have a very close bond with the animal life on their world. They view the animal life as their friends and live amongst them peacefully. I do not see them hunting animals or using their hides for anything. Some will even have animals living with them in their homes. One Simac male held up in his open hand a gray, furry rodent-like creature. He was petting it like it was his pet, and then he put it back in his pocket. So the animal life is varied, but animal species are all on the smaller side on that planet, and there's no species there that hunts them or that they fear in any way. Simacs' teeth are smaller than ours because they do not need to eat solid food to survive. I see them drinking water from the streams, and they make something that seems to be a tea from flowers and drinking that. They have no desire to eat or chew anything. It's as if the thought of chewing something is really unappealing to them. So let's discuss in more detail the Simacs' connection to children. Sweet personalities coupled with their cute appearances aside, I would be remiss to view the Simacs as completely docile. As a group, they are extremely passionate about protecting and nurturing children throughout the universe. Their carefree and innocent natures drop when speaking about this issue. On my first visit to Simac, after the initial introductions, one female exhibited her powerful manifestation abilities and concern for what has been happening on Earth. She took her hands and appeared to rip open a portal in the ether to show me something horrible happening in real time on Earth to a child. She said pointedly, "This has been happening in the dark for too long. It's time for it to stop." So this begs the question, if they're so upset about this problem and so powerful, why is it still occurring on Earth? I would argue that most Earth humans don't want it to happen either. Upon asking this question of them, respectfully of course, the response I received was that the Simacs are limited in what they can do because the Earth's density is still so low. For real change to occur, the dimension of Earth needs to rise enough so that evil cannot comfortably exist and hence create a food source for itself. This food source is both achieved through creating trauma and fear energies as well as physical. They cannot interfere completely because God or Source is still allowing it to happen here as a way of teaching souls and learning lessons. The perpetual childlike energies this group has is not by accident, but by design, so that they can empathize and assist tormented children. This is important for relating to the child's experience and worldview and not cause a child unnecessary fear. They tell me that they're excellent with all children, regardless of what planet that child comes from. Their healing superpower comes from the immense love and empathy they can provide. They are looking forward to the day when the vibration has increased on Earth enough for it to finally stop. The Simacs tell me we on Earth are already far along into this painful journey as a planet to a more positive transition. In the past, these beings have assisted in big ways with many other realms who have gone through similar ascensions, as it is their mission and their passion as a group. If a Simac starseed soul incarnates into an earthly lifetime, which is rare, they will usually be involved in helping children in need, so much so that their soul's own learning and growth is often pushed aside so this service can be of primary importance in their experience here. This is a sacrifice because Earth is unpleasant for a Simac starseed soul to endure. Besides their spaceships, they don't use a lot of technology gadgets, like the Aldermans I covered in the last video. The Cymex are so high dimensional that technology becomes obsolete. The UFOs are used to transport the Cymex and or children off-world if needed. Often the kids being taken off-world don't even belong to anyone and can be so injured that a higher level of intervention is necessary. This group works tirelessly to send loving energies to children who are being harmed on Earth and have assisted in taking some very injured children off-world to be cared for. While Cymex do not heal in the physical sense, for example, you have a broken bone and they fix that, but more in the emotional sense. These beings will work with these traumatized children to heal them in the emotional sense, allowing them to become childlike again. The Cymex will do this emotional healing work on their own ships and on other alien ships who also participate in this mission. I'm told that the children are not necessarily taken to their planet. This work is accomplished on the ships, even if it takes an extended period of time. After the healing is completed, their memory of this is wiped as if it never occurred, yet the healing remains. Most children are eventually returned to Earth, but some cannot be returned. After diving deeper with these beings, I get the feeling that this issue is just much, much bigger than we can fathom. As a side note, more people have been taken off world for many different reasons than we realize. It's just a small percentage will ever remember it. It's rarely as frightening or as dramatic as shown in TV shows and movies. As far as how these beings see Earth, the Cymex assure me that they love those on Earth. It was a big step on their part to come forward to be known in the first place. The reason they hesitated to give me their true name initially was because, quote unquote, conscious knowledge matters. Knowing the name of something or someplace matters, as it gives both power and direction of energies. Although they wanted my client to know about their soul's true origins, they allowed me to know them a little. I just don't think the Cymex were fully ready to be known until now. The time is not exactly right to share their energies with us on Earth. Doing this work, I've noticed that timing is crucial to receiving new information. The Cymex understand that most of the souls here are not evil and do not want what has been occurring to continue. They wanted to come forward at this time because more of a focus is being made public on what has been happening to the youth of Earth. This is a brief introduction to the Cymex, who call Eta Canis Minor home. I hope you enjoyed learning about them. Any alien groups mentioned in this video that I have made videos about previously will be linked below in the show notes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you seen a UFO like the one I described? Do you think you may have any past lives on this planet? If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, kindly subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos highlighting other previously unknown alien races in our universe. Should you want to have your Akashic record read by me, the link to my website is below. In the meantime, I love you all and welcome to a higher dimension.